Brad Garlinghouse, the man, the myth, the legend. He just said the thing every XRP holder has been waiting years to hear. And when you connect it with what's happening at the Fed, the White House, and Wall Street, you start to realize it's not a theory anymore, folks. This is what we call execution. The blueprint. It's unfolding exactly how we all thought it would. Quietly, strategically, and globally. This isn't hopium. This is infrastructure becoming reality at the highest level. And we're about to break it all down, and we're starting right here because the Fed, they just blinked. Breaking news coming in hot off the press. God, it's hot. The Federal Reserve is now considering giving direct payment access to crypto and fintech firms. How interesting. Here comes Ripple Bank, the setup we've been talking about. If that goes through, guess what? The entire traditional banking moat collapses. The old gatekeepers, they're gone. This is how you bring blockchain rails online, by cutting out the middleman. That is what they're most afraid of. And when you realize that Ripple has spent, well, the past decade building those exact rails, it's hard not to see what's coming next. This isn't about a few banks, everyone, using XRP for remittances. No shot. This is about the foundation of global payments being rebuilt right under your very nose. That's how far we have come. And folks, the newsletter, it's out. It is 100% free to join. Go down in the video description, click the link. That's where I drop my stuff that YouTube won't let me post. And don't forget those calls. We're about a week and a half out from bookings. If you want to get in, OTCs, a lot of people are getting from me. We can hook you up. Tax strategies, LLC setup, S-Corp. You want to talk about your little trust, the lending, don't worry about it. Rip got you covered. Get that call booked today, folks. President Trump, he just said crypto has gone up more than any stock. That's sink in. This is your president, the president of the United States, telling you that crypto has gone up more than any stock. People start listening when these words start to come out of his mouth. Then he said stablecoins will be used to settle global payments in seconds. That's not a throwaway line. That is what we call policy foreshadowing. When your president says America's going to embrace crypto, you have to ask yourself, who's already ready? The answer is not ETH. It's definitely not Solana. It's not Satoshi Nakamoto in his little cave over there. It's Ripple, the only US-based company with regulatory clarity. That's right. The only US company with regulatory clarity, bank partnerships, and a live global payment network. Listen.
Let me say the entire crypto community, for years, you were mocked and dismissed and counted out. You were counted out as little as a year and a half ago. But this signing is a massive validation. And even before this signing, over the last year and a half, I think your stuff has gone up more than any stock, or just about more. A couple of stocks that were pretty good, I will say. But you have certainly, as an industry, gone up more than anybody. Let me say.
What a bullish statement. This is the setup, everyone. Trump's statement, the Fed's payment access talks, it is all aligning to make the US the center of blockchain finance and the bridge asset that connects it all. You already know it is XRP. And then we get this. This is super interesting. Stay with me on this. Wall Street doesn't chase hype. We all know that. They don't leverage either, Wall Street, right? They're responsible actors. It builds the system that creates it. And if you look close enough, their fingerprints, it's all over XRP. For years, they told retail that XRP was a banker's coin. It's useless for investors. That was the distraction. Meanwhile, these same institutions, what were they doing? They were quietly filing blockchain patents. They were setting up liquidity desks, and they were funding Ripple's partners. Now enters who? Evernorth. Forever North. I love it. I'm going to tell you. The bridge between Wall Street and the XRP ledger. I want you to think MicroStrategy, but built entirely for XRP. A publicly listed company that is designed to hold, accumulate, and expand XRP's institutional reach. Listen to this.
So it's a quite like sort of on two sides. One side, like on the small altcoins, for them surviving is already super tough because it's very difficult to get liquidity, difficult to get users, and difficult to get VC money. On the other side, it's like this crypto Max 7, Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana XRP. They constantly got this Wall Street money for DAT and all the things. So that's why if we look at like overall market cap, right, it doesn't change much because Bitcoin and ETH, their sort of ratio much higher, but the small ones like become lower and lower. So I just feel like after this, it takes a long time for these kind of small businesses to recover for the next few months or next 1 or 2 years. But for the big tickers or the major coins, I think they will eat well from the Wall Street and also
all the major coins where the Wall Street money is coming into, they're going to eat well. That's us. We're going to eat like kings. I'm ready. But now think about it. Here comes Evernorth. That's your bridge, right? So Evernorth lets funds and pensions gain XRP exposure without ever touching crypto. They buy the stock. Evernorth then buys XRP from the open market. That is what we call real demand. No over-the-counter discounts, no pre-sales, just supply leaving the exchanges. And you know who's already involved? Pantera, Kraken, GSR, Rippleworks, even Ripple themselves. These aren't speculators. These are the liquidity architects. They understand what happens when scarcity meets demand. So yeah, XRP, it's going to eat well from Wall Street. That means me and you, we're going to be feasting like kings and queens, because this time, you know what? The suits, they're not fighting it. The suits are the ones of funding it, folks. And then the pre-allocation theory. Remember how everyone said pre-allocation theory was tinfoil? It's funny how that crazy idea suddenly looks a lot more possible. Gary Gensler himself, remember when he was at MIT, he mentioned that institutions could pre-allocate assets to ensure liquidity during a global digital rollout. Sounds familiar, right?
Monopolist with another central monopolist. A lot of commercial banks aren't terribly excited about that. Maybe you're going to have to give some ownership. Maybe you'll have to give 50% of your ownership to the 20 banks that are now, part of this. I mean, there are other ways to build incentive systems. Maybe you put a native token in there and you give them the native token. So there may be other incentive ways to beat the current monopolist But I, having been around commercial banks for a long time, they really are looking for ways to replace their aggregators in their back office, whether it's clearing, settlement, exchanges, credit agencies. But they are deeply understanding, because they are pretty ambitious and very good at making money as well. They deeply understand that every idea that's pitched to them is somebody who currently...
I'll tell you something. This is what he told at MIT before his SEC days. The SEC, it didn't age this man well, right? But here's the thing about this. XRP's architecture was built for all this. It's regulatory friendly, right? It's bridge ready and scalable enough to move trillions without breaking. If you were designing the plumbing for a global financial reset, you need a neutral bridge currency that can interoperate between banks, central bank digital currencies, and stable coins. That's XRP. It's sitting quietly, waiting for that switch to be flipped. And it's going to get flipped. Now I want you to mix this in with the Fed's testing phase, the BIS settlement models, and Trump's pro-crypto stance. Well, it's suddenly the pre-allocation theory. It doesn't sound like a theory anymore. It almost sounds like it's a preview, right? And then President Trump says, instead of attacking industries of the future, we're going to embrace them, including making America the world capital for crypto and Bitcoin.
This onslaught at lower prices, I'm pledging today that in my second term, we will eliminate a minimum of 10 old regulations for every one new regulation. We'll be able to do that quite easily, actually. And instead of attacking industries of the future, we will embrace them, including making America the world capital for crypto and Bitcoin.
You love to hear it. You love to hear it. Now, folks, that's not campaign fluff. That's what we call a mission statement. For all my people in the business world, you know about these mission statements. We gotta write them all the time, right? And Ripple, with its compliance, its partnerships, and its tech stack, well, it fits perfectly inside that vision. This is the kind of alignment we've never seen before. Government policy, private innovation, and institutional money, it's all pointing in the exact same direction. The stage is set. And then I put out this tweet. If you didn't read it, you really need to go read it, okay? This is about Evernorth. It's not speculation anymore. It is here. They are buying XRP on the open market. No pre-mine, no OTC, over-the-counter sweetheart deals. Every purchase adds real demand and it helps shrink that circulating supply. But they're not just stacking, right? They are building liquidity pools. They are building lending programs, yield mechanisms, all centered around XRP as its core asset. And when they list on NASDAQ, well, every trader, every ETF and pension fund, they're going to be able to get exposure through a regulated vehicle. That fiat inflow, it loops back into XRP's accumulation to maintain the treasury's ratios. It's a reflexive feedback loop, everyone. Fiat in, XRP up. That's the same setup that sent Bitcoin from $500 to 50,000, 120,000, wherever the top is going to be. Only this time it's faster, it's actually regulated, and it is built for enterprise scale. And this all starts in a couple of months in Q1 of 2026. I mean, October's almost over. We're 60 days away, and bada bing, bada boom. Next thing you know, it's a new year, right? And then this photo, I'll blow it up. You'll never forget this one. Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Alvarado, standing next to Donald Trump himself. This is not random, everyone. This is a signal. You don't accidentally end up in photos with a man who is running an entire country, telling you he's going to make crypto better again, or the US to be the crypto leader of the world, right? There's reasons for all of this. And then we get this one. Braille. They just integrated the XRP ledger, solving the biggest payment bottleneck, which they said was compliance. Now businesses can issue USD-backed stablecoins. They can settle in RLUSD, and they can use XRP ledger's built-in trust lines, all through one single API. Guess what? It's compliant. It's programmable finance that moves faster than the banks ever could. And then we get regulated stablecoins get officially announced live with Braille. They now support issuing and manage them directly right on top of the XRP ledger. Compliant, global, and all programmable. That's your missing link, right? Now everything is going to start connecting. Stable rails, institutional money, public markets, and all roads lead back to one thing, and that's the Ripple's ecosystem. So look, when Brad Garlinghouse said what he said, the man wasn't hyping. He was signaling that the system is switching on. The Fed is opening the gates. Ripple Bank's coming. Trump is embracing crypto. Evernorth is stacking XRP, and stablecoins are going live on the XRP ledger. And Ripple's leadership, it's standing shoulder to shoulder with the people who are writing the policy, with the most powerful people in this world. Folks, this isn't all random news. This is a global reset that Ripple has been preparing for over a decade, probably even longer than that. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, and stay locked in. Join the newsletter, because when the liquidity corridors light up, you'll want to say you were here before the world realized what XRP was truly built for.